Alleluia, Alleluia. Everybody sing Alleluia, for the Lord has risen, it is true. Everybody sing Alleluia. 30 years he walked the land. Alleluia, Alleluia. To all in need he lent his hand. Alleluia, Alleluia, Alleluia. Everybody sing.
Welcome to the Ascent of Mount Carmel YouTube channel, and welcome to this playlist where we discuss and analyze this Vatican Council and the things involving it, leading up to it, and the things that came afterward. And today we're discussing, are we obliged to believe Catholic dogma?
And so St. Athanasius points out, to be a Catholic, we must hold on to the faith whole and entire. And so we can't add something to it that's not part of it, and we can't subtract something that is part of it.
And I submit to you that we are obliged to believe Catholic dogma. Objection.
In a few minutes, we will recite the Creed. If it's not in that Creed, with the exception of one thing, that Mary was assumed bodily into heaven, proclaimed by Pope Pius XII in 1952, and parenthetically, the only time in the history of the Catholic Church that a pope has exercised infallibility. And if it's not in that Creed, then it's not part of our dogma.
Please note that according to Wikipedia, most mainline Protestant churches also say the Creed. According to Monsignor Kriegel, the only thing separating Catholics and Protestants is the doctrine of the Assumption of Mary into heaven. Monsignor Kriegel states that the doctrine dates back to 1952. However, the so-called Protestant Reformation occurred in the 1500s. If Catholic dogma and Protestant dogma were harmonious, why did they revolt against the Catholic Church? The answer, of course, is there is a great deal more to dogma than just the Creed and the Assumption of Mary into heaven. There are issues such as purgatory, the real presence, abortion, birth control, to name just a few.
You know, we don't call ourselves Catholic and then build our own belief system based on how I see it. That's really, when a person does that, actually,
They have a Protestant mentality.
Well, it's a Protestant mentality, and actually, he's actually worshiping himself.
Yes.
Because he's saying, this is what I think, this is my view of all of reality.
God should be like I construct him to be.
Yeah.
Objection. I've heard many Catholics state that Catholics don't need to believe dogma unless it's been declared ex cathedra, or from the chair. However, the concept of dogma being declared ex cathedra was not defined until the year 1870. Therefore, all dogma that had been declared before that time would not need to be believed according to this philosophy. That includes the Nicene Creed and everything else. As we discussed in an earlier installment, Catholic dogma is proposed by the Church for the acceptance of the faithful. It is not proposed by the Church for the consideration of the faithful.
A person says, I'm Catholic, but I don't believe what the Church teaches. He's no longer Catholic.
In this playlist, we've already discussed that we are obliged to believe Catholic dogma, and we've also discussed that Catholic dogma cannot change. But we're going to look at some of the nuances of dogma. Has it changed? We're going to go through the centuries and analyze the various aspects. As we proceed through these, if I've missed any, please feel free to give me an email. In the meantime, though, please pray for the Church.
It's the same Catholic faith from the beginning to now, forever.
Sky.